Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sean and today we're going to be taking a look at the RealMe 5 Pro. This is a phone that retails for $399 in Australia, which is hard to comprehend. It's got 4 cameras. I went to the event that RealMe had a few weeks ago for their Australian launch. I was actually quite impressed, and now they've sent me the phone for review and I've been using it for a few weeks now, and today I'm going to give you my full thoughts and impressions on this particular model. So if you like this video, it's my first mobile phone review. Let me know how I did. Chuck it a like, get subscribed, and let's begin. So the phone that RealMe has sent over is the RealMe 5 Pro. This one comes in sparkling blue, and I'm going to quickly go through the technical specifications, as I know some of you do really care about that stuff. So this particular model has 8 gig of RAM, 128 gig of internal storage. You can expand that. There is a micro SD expansion, or as well as a dual SIM expansion as well. So you can put 2 SIM cards in here. For the CPU, you've actually got a Snapdragon 712 CPU and an Adreno 616 GPU. On the actual front of the screen, you've got a 6.3 inch full HD screen with a pixel density of 409, and then the actual peak brightness is 450 nits of brightness as well. On the front, you've got a 16 megapixel front-facing camera, which works as a Face ID unlock, or there's no infrared sensor included, so at nighttime it might be a bit tricky. But on the rear of the phone, you've actually got a Touch ID fingerprint sensor as well. I'm not sure if Touch ID is patented by Apple, but I'm going to call it Touch ID on the back of the phone as well. Down the bottom here, you've got a USB Type-C connection for charging the battery and for doing data transfer. It does support VOOC Fast Charge 3.0, and they give you the 20-watt fast charge adapter in the box as well, which is absolutely awesome. Again, when you consider this phone is only $399. The battery inside is 4,035 milliamps, so it's going to give you about 14 hours of battery life and a standby time of up to 100 hours, but the battery is not removable, so you can't actually take that out and service it yourself. You can take it to one of the RealMe service centers and they can do that for you. And then obviously, I guess the main feature here at the back of the phone is the quad camera set. So you've got a 48 megapixel camera, a 16 megapixel standard shooter, which can also do portrait mode. You've got a wide angle lens and also a macro lens as well. So for the fact that you get all this technology, 4 cameras, USB Type-C, fast charging, Face ID and Touch ID on the back is absolutely insane. And you can expand this up to, again, you can put an SD card or a micro SD card in there, up to another 256 gig on top of the 128 that you've already got on this phone. So that's all of the technical specifications. If you have any questions, let me know. What we're going to do now though is take this phone outside, do some test footage of the cameras so you can see how they all work, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my, I guess, final thoughts and opinion. Hey guys, so we're outside at the moment and this is me just doing a quick test recording using the front-facing 16 megapixel camera, and hopefully you can get an idea of the video quality and also the audio quality from the built-in microphone on this device. I think the colors are a little bit washed out, but I think for doing video calls, FaceTime calls, whatever they're called on the Android version, or just simply wanting to make videos for Instagram or Snapchat, this camera is perfectly fine. Alrighty guys, so right now we're just doing a quick little walking test, just me hand holding the phone. This is a video recording at the full 4K resolution. Let me know what you think. It's not too bad. There is definitely a little bit of stutter. There's no optical image stabilization. It's just all digital stabilization, and the audio that you're hearing is from the built-in microphone. So let me know what you think. Alrighty, so right now we're just doing another video test this time. This is 1080p at 30 frames per second. It can also do 60 frames per second as well if that's something you prefer. But as the 4K video is 60 frames, 4K video is 30 frames, this is 1080p at 30 frames as a comparison. Okay, and now we're recording 1080p at 60 frames per second. So Again, just a reminder, no optical image stabilization. The audio you're hearing is just from the built-in microphone. It's kind of breezy up here, but this is 1080p at 60 frames per second. Alright, so this is now just one more video using the wide angle lens. This is recording at 1080p. You can't unfortunately record wide angle using, you can't record 4K using the wide angle lens. You can only do 1080p. So this is 1080p using the wide angle lens. Alright, so now that you've seen the sample video footage and photo footage, now we're at the point of the video where I'm just going to give you my thoughts and opinions on the product and maybe whether or not you should consider picking this phone up maybe at Christmas time as a gift or maybe for yourself. So I'll talk about the things that matter for me. I know it's going to be different for everybody, but I'm going to go through, my 5 or 6 things that matter and what I think about each particular one. So starting off was the CPU and GPU performance. For me, that always has to be really, really good. I play some PUBG, I play some Fortnite, play some Jetpack Joyride. I do a bit of everything on my phone, as well as, default things like texting, calling, video chat, all that kind of stuff. And the CPU and GPU held up pretty well. On some of the games, I couldn't play them at the highest settings. I did get the occasional stutter. I didn't even feel though the phone was getting so hot that the phone started to thermal throttle. So overall, the CPU and GPU worked really well. And there is some software, I think it's called like Game Boost, which is part of the Android operating system, where essentially it will basically give more resources to the particular game that you're playing when you're having a game of PUBG, and it might go for a while, so you sort of don't get any stuttering or any lag during your gaming sessions. The battery life, again, was really, really good. I charged this phone once and was only using it sort of on and off for about a week, and it lasted the whole time. If you're obviously a more demanding user, 14 hours of battery life, I think is going to be good enough that you're going to be able to get through a day or a day and a half without having to recharge it. But a highlight for me was the fact they included the fast charger, the 20-watt charger, which connects via USB-C in the box. And they're not making you go out and have to buy that somewhere else afterwards. I think that would be a bit sucky. I hate it how Apple doesn't do that. Even on their iPhone 11 Pro, they only give it like an 18-watt adapter in the box. This particular model, they're giving you the 20-watt adapter in the box for $399. So if you compare that to Apple's $1,400 phone, it's pretty awesome. The security and software, so this is running ColorOS, which is a version of Android. It's ColorOS 6.0. And in terms of security, Face ID worked for me really well. It was nice and quick. So was Touch ID. You can put on your different launcher if you want to put a different launcher on to change how the apps appear and look on the screen, and how you slide up or get to your application menu. So that's really good that it's still running Android, and you go to the Google Play Store and you get full access to all of those particular features. The speakers could be better. It's a bit of a disappointment now that in 2019 that you have to worry about cupping and covering your speaker. On most phones now, the speakers work in sort of like a stereo mode. So if you do cup one, you still do get sound coming from the top speaker here. But on this model, unfortunately, you do need to be mindful of, if you're playing a game and you cup it with your hand, it's going to block all of the sound coming out. So something to be maybe a little bit mindful of. You do get a headphone jack though. So, I guess you lose out on one feature, but you still retain a headphone jack, which is nice. On their website, they do mention the fact that this phone is splash proof or splash resistant. They don't actually give you an IPX rating though, so there's no guarantee that if you take it to 1 meter for 30 minutes or 5 meters for 5 minutes that you're going to get any sort of protection. They just say it's splash proof, so you still need to be mindful that you don't drop this in your pool or take it in your pocket when you're going into the beach or anything like that, or even knocking it into the kitchen sink. It will handle a little splash from, you know, maybe something that's coming from your sink or from a drink or something like that, but definitely don't take this underwater anytime soon. They do say that they have sealed up a lot of the phone, but I mean, it's up to you how far you want to push it. There's no guarantee, there's no IPX rating, so just take that into consideration as well. Now the cameras you would have seen again in the sample footage and in the video quality and the photo quality that you can get a lot done at this particular price point. This phone's $399. You've got 4 cameras on the back and 1 at the front, and all of them are really good. Low light photography at nighttime is probably its only real opportunity, but again, you need to remember that this phone only costs $399. And I guess this leaves me at my final point. This phone is rock solid. You get the charger, you get the phone, they include a screen protector on it. You even get in the box a clear case, which is really nice. The only thing you don't get with this phone is a pair of headphones, which for some people, they probably would get the headphones that are in the box and chuck them in the bin and use what they already have already. So would I recommend this phone for someone who's starting off or wanting to give it as a gift or maybe for themselves? 100% yes. Would I give this phone to somebody who has already been using maybe like an iPhone 8 or an iPhone 10 or one of the latest Samsung or Google phones? Probably not, because I think that they've chosen those phones for the better cameras. So all that being said, let me know what you think down in the comment section. If you like this video and you enjoyed my review and my thoughts and opinions, chuck it a like, get subscribed, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.